loves, and welcome to another reading vlog. So this reading vlog, I am going to be doing it for the weekend. So it's currently Friday the 10th of September and I'm going to run it through till like Sunday midnight, although technically it'll be like Monday by that point. But I'll literally end it like, you know, Monday, because I'll be starting a new vlog on Monday, which will be all to do with my Bookoplathon TBR. So yeah, this reading vlog is pretty much going to try and read the tour books that I have still needing to read. A lot of them will be for tours for next week, so I want to try and just read all those books, so then that week I have the whole 7 days where I can concentrate on my Bookoplathon TBR. I've managed to read 3 books from my Bookoplathon TBR, but I still have 7 books left to read, and a couple of them, they're not like overly chunky, but they're chunky enough, and I do still have some other tour books which are more at the end of the month, and I still got my book club books as well to read, so just want to try and get like ahead of the game a little bit, so then I've got more time to concentrate on other books that I still need to read. So I have 5 books that are for tours that obviously I'd like to read, but depending on how I get on with them, I might try and fit in my 2 book club books. So just to go into the TBR that's definitely happening, first up, which is what I'm currently reading, is what I am going to start with, is 5 Minds by Guy Morpus. I'm currently on page 51, so it's not in chapters, it's like by like all the different characters. So I think I've read 3 chapters possibly. Yeah, I think I've read 5 chapters, if not 5, 3 chapters, just because I've read 3 characters already. But I absolutely love this. This is a debut speculative crime thriller, and I am really enjoying this. I think this is going to be a very quick fling through read. When I start reading this, I will give you the actual synopsis of what it's about, because it'll probably be easier me reading the synopsis rather than explaining it to you, because I don't think I'll do it as good as the synopsis does. But I'm really loving it. Like, I just started it last night for like half an hour and I really breezed through it. And then next 2 is a series. So the first one is Defiant by Anne Denton, which is the Fairer Princess book 1, and then I've also got book 2, which is Defiled, which I need. My tour for this one is the end of September, so this tour is for next week, but I have a feeling this probably end in like some sort of cliffhanger possibly, since there's book 2, so I thought I'll probably read this, then read this, because knowing me, I'd want to. But basically these 2 books are a dark romance, but it's a reverse harem one, so it's 2 males and 2 females. It also is a werewolf romance. So we follow Elena and Black, and then in this one we follow Elena, Black and Jonah. So yeah, but there are some trigger warnings in here, which I've noticed. It says apparently there's dubious consent scenes, forced marriage, and eventually would contain humiliation. So I don't know how bad that will be, but I'm really excited for them. I think they're going to be quick, easy reads for me, to be honest, because I do love a supernatural romance, and I really do love reverse harem romance. I just think they're interesting. So definitely be reading them too. I'll probably read them after I've read 5 Minds, just to break up the books, because I have got a few. Well, I'm reading 2 thrillers and then one sort of, I don't know what the other one is actually classed as. Probably a little bit sci-fi, maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. But the next one I'm on about is Wilson and Deed, which is the Wi-Fi of Dreams series. This is book 1. I'll be reading book 2 the following month. I can't remember what this is about, to be fair. No, I can't remember what it's about. When I read the synopsis, it sounded really good. Like, I think it's got like a dystopian sort of fantasy type sci-fi-esque genre type. I can't remember what it's about. When I saw the synopsis of this book, it sounded amazing, but I think this might be one of those books where there will be a lot of world building, and then probably by like halfway it would like probably pick up possibly, but we'll see. This is one I'm a little bit apprehensive about, purely just because I do wonder whether it will be a little bit slow at the start, which if it's slow it just makes me read slower, as in all the other ones I know I'll probably be like that. But I need to read it, and you know, it might surprise me. And then lastly in the tour books is The Woman in the Wood by M.K. Hill. So I have had this book for a good 3 or 4 months. Originally this was on tour for like June or something, I can't remember now. But it was going to be as a excuse me, it was going to be as like an arc because it wasn't coming out until September. But then the publishers and author decided that they actually wanted to do the tour on the month it is released. So it got pushed back till this month of September. So I've owned this for ages. It's been actually facing my window, so it actually has gone a little bit yellow on the pages. But this is a thriller, and I can't remember what this is about now. Something to, I can't remember. Like once I start reading it, I know. But I love this just because it's got one of your ribbons. Like I just love ribbon books. But yeah, I'm really excited for this because I've been wanting to read it for so long. I was tempted to read it quite early on and just draft my review and share it when it was my tour spot. But then that meant I wouldn't be able to do, like, say I read it in like July, I wouldn't be able to do a wrap up video with this purely because it would spoil it for like other tour people and all that. So I was just like, alright, I won't do that, because if I left it and then did my actual wrap up in September of this, I'll probably be like, I can't remember what this book is about because I read it a few months ago. So yeah, I've been really dying to read it, but I've not allowed to, so I finally get to read it, and yeah, I think this is going to be really good. So they're the tour books that definitely take priority. If I fly through them, which I genuinely think, apart from Wilson Indeed, I think I'll fly through all the others. I might be able to sneak in these other 2 books. We'll see. But if not, then I'll pick them up later. But it's One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, which is my book club pick. I loved Red, White, Royal Blue. I read that within a couple of hours. It was such an easy read, and a lot of people say this is even better. So I'm very excited to pick up and read this. And then alongside my book club, we're doing Mass Along, Read Along. So we're continuing with the Throne of Glass series. This is book 5, Empire of Storms. It is a very big chunky book. This is what, over, how many pages are we looking at? 691, I think I'm counting. So it's a chunky book. However, I'm like flying through these books, and I know this one now is more magical this time round because magic's now been released, it's all back. So I have a feeling, it's going to be more fantasy-esque. I just think this is going to be a very fast-paced, loads of action, loads of drama, and I'm just excited to read this. I loved the first 4 books. I know I'm going to love this one. I think I know some of this plot just purely by seeing fan art and people reviewing this book and all that. So I think I've got an idea what's going on, which if it is true, I might cry. But yeah, so these 2 are, if I read all of them, I will then try and if I've got time, I'll probably be able to read and finish that. In regards to this one, I might be able to start it and at least pick up later. But the main books that I really want to concentrate on are these 5. So yeah, I'm just going to start this literally after I just filmed this intro. And yeah, I will vlog and tell you my thoughts within all of the books. And yeah, so I will catch up with you when I've got a bit more book updates for you. And yeah, I will tell you, this is just going to be a very reading vlog. Like, my room is a tip, so you won't be seeing a lot of room content just because it is a mess. And yeah, it's literally just going to be me reading. There's nothing fun about it apart from me reading. Basically, it's just going to be a cozy reading one. So be prepared for me to talk about my feelings of books. So I'm going to start with 5 Minds by Guy Morpus. Like I said, I'm on page 51. But I wanted to tell you what this book is about, because it would make sense if I just read out what it's about rather than me try to explain it to you. So the little catchphrases: how do you catch a killer when you share their body? The Earth's population has finally been controlled. At 17 you must choose how you will live and when you will die. As a worker, an android, a hedonist, or as a commune, the rarest choice. 5 minds sharing one body, each living only 4 hours a day, but with a combined existence of over a century. Alex, Kate, Sierra, Ben and Mike are a commune, placed together because of their contrasting and supposedly complementary personalities. They have spent 25 difficult years together. They travel to a death park where virtual games are played in which time can be gambled and won to increase lifespans. The plan is to win time to upgrade their next host body, but then Kate accepts a dangerous offer, and one of them disappears. As the remaining members realise that one of the commune is trying to murder the others, the games become about mere survival, but they are running out of time to figure out which of them is a killer. The stunning murder mystery wrapped in a genre-bending speculative fiction, The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle meets Westworld. This has perfect for readers of Stuart Turton, Lauren Butts, Claire North and Alex Vezzi. So it's basically a speculative crime thriller. It's a debut. It comes out this month. I don't know when in this month. It might already be out. It might not. But what I love about this book is when I received it, I got given the invite to the death park, and it gives you all the terms and conditions. And I had a QR code here, which you go on and you fill out the questionnaire to determine who you are. So I was a worker, and so I get a little sticker, and I can stick it there, which I just think is fantastic. But so far I've read 3 of our people. So I've read Alex, I've read Kate, and I've read Mike, and now I'm on Sierra. And basically Sierra's the one who just keeps messing things up. She's constantly drinking so much she won't so when it's the end of their 4 hours, they're meant to go somewhere where it's safe for the other person to start their shift, basically. And Sierra never does it. She just leaves them, in an alleyway, prison, lots of different places. And Alex is always the person after Sierra, so he's getting really fed up of it. So in Alex's part, he got made to play a death park virtual game, and he had to basically, the game was he had to kill the other person, and if he killed them, he would get their remaining lifespan. So we had that, and it's clear he really does not like Sierra, he's fed up of her and stuff like that. Then we followed Kate, who was the person after Alex, and she makes a deal with someone called Amy. And basically Amy did a sob story saying that her husband's horrible to her, and they basically did a contract where the husband played all these games to give extra life, and then they split it. But basically if she splits up with him, she has to give her life back. So she's got over 20 years of extra life, and basically if she gives it that back, she has only 6 months to live. So she said to Kate, if you give me all of your codes and that for your body, she would go in by a mind. So they have a 6 person, because they have 5 minds, but they're allowed 6, and the 6th person's usually the person who helps the host body. So Mike's technically the host body, but it turns out that Amy isn't who she says she is, and it's coming clear that Amy died, but the CCTV image showed that actually she isn't. She was up and walking, so they're a bit confused of what's just happened. So Kate's a bit like, oh god, what's gone on? And then I just read Mike's, and Mike is the actual host body, so he is the human one per se, and he's then got the other 4 minds in his mind too. And he just did a 10k race and met Amy. So Amy was as someone else, who was the one, the referee sort of thing. And she, just as he did his last lap, it was between him and someone else. She was saying all these things, saying the games have changed, blah blah blah. And so he's now gone missing. So it ended in a way that I think he's dead. So it says now he gasped, now who is someone says now who is a shithead to him, and at the end it says, and I know that I am dead. So he's currently so started the first sentence of Ben. So Ben's the one after Mike, and he's still technically in Mike's time, and he shouldn't be. And so he knows something's up, and basically he's been asking everyone to say, do you know where Mike is? Mike's not here, I've gone into his time, and blah blah blah. So people are now wondering whether he's been mind swiped, which means he's completely gone. So it is just them 4 rather than the 5. And yeah, so there's something going on with Amy. It's clear that possibly Mike's dead, but from what I've read, it's turning out that there'll be more deaths. So yeah, I'm loving it. I've only read 51 pages, and I just don't want to put it down. So yeah, you're going to be reading this, and I honestly think I'll probably finish this today, because it's just really easy and fun, and I'm loving it already. Like, it's really good. So yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to quickly grab some lunch and eat this. Eat this? I'm not eating this. I'm going to grab some lunch and eat and read this. Wow.
I think I'd be fine with losing my hearing, 'cause both of my ear canals are still searing from your words. You know I don't wanna stop interfering, but I wonder if all that's gonna do is make it worse. I think I'd be wrong to blame it all on you. Couldn't have known I wanted more than you could give. And though I never asked for anything from you, I was hoping I would get a little bit closer than I did. I turned into a shoulder you cried on. I never wanted it to go that way. I'm so foolish for wasting my time on you, thinking we'd end up together one day. Lady, you can carry on weeping, but your tears gonna hit the floor, 'cause my shoulder won't be there for you no more. Won't be there for you no more.
Afternoon. I'm currently in M&S car park. I just quickly popped in to do my refund, and my parents are currently getting some food from there, but the aircon is really, really cold, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to go back in the car. Plus I left my phone in the car, so I wanted to get back because I really didn't want anyone to go and smash the car and steal my phone. So I really have very little left of this book. Oh, there's someone walking past. Hello. So I stopped reading at just after 2 a.m. and I had 53 pages left. But I realised that I had a video that I half edited and didn't finish it off, so I was like, oh, I'll quickly do that. So that's now gone up. And then I started watching just a couple of booktubers videos, and it was about 3:30 that I decided I should probably go to sleep, because I'm sure I'll be up early in the morning. So I had 53 pages there. I've actually read in the car, and I'm currently on page 273, so I think I possibly at push have 30 pages left, maybe even less. I'm not going to try and work it out in my head because maths is not my forte, but it's really good. It's coming clear that Sierra, who's the one I didn't particularly like out of all of the 5 minds, she's the one behind everything, and we're starting to find out the reasons why. But I don't only feel like this is a crime thriller. Like, it's not an actual proper murder, I would say, like I'm used to. It's like the people that have died in the game, but she's the one who obviously made it happen, and she's the one that sort of got them killed. But it isn't actually someone going around stabbing people or shooting them or whatever. It literally is, they're playing a game and they die in the game, but they die completely, but it doesn't affect their body because Sierra's managed to do something with that. I don't it's just coming clear what exactly. So in that sense, I don't feel like it's a crime thriller. To me, it's like a bit like Ready Player One in regards to the games and stuff, but obviously when you die in a game, you actually die. That's how I feel it is. I feel it's more like to me, I feel it's more a speculative dystopian than a speculative crime thriller. Which, for that, I don't think this is going to have the full 5 stars, just because, to me, crime thriller isn't what's going on for me, and I read quite a lot of crime thrillers. I would say that, if you're going to call it a crime thriller, it's extremely soft, So with that, I think it won't be the full 5 stars. I don't know whether it'll be 4 or 4.5. I really do love it, so I would say 4.5, but everywhere it doesn't make you do the half points, so it might just be easier and just do 4. But I am really enjoying it. I don't like Sierra. I didn't like her at the start, and I certainly don't like her anymore now. But yeah, so I probably won't read any more now, purely because we're going to head off to my grandparents, who just live 5 minutes away. And, you know, since we're here, we might as well pop over and quickly say hello to them. So I'll probably read the rest when I head back home. In regards to my day, VoyagerCon's on. Like, it's currently on at 12, and then there's another one at 2 and another one at 3. I'm obviously missing the 12 because I'm here and couldn't really do it on the phone in the car. I want to try and do the 2 o'clock one, but that also depends on like how long we're at my nan's and what time we get back. So it might just possibly be the last one at 3 if I can make it. If not, I've completely not watched any of them. Like, I admit they haven't paid for a ticket, but I'd at least like to watch one. But we'll see. But I do want to, when we head home, pop into town because I want to get a few last minute bits for Alice for her birthday. And I've got her quite a lot. I just feel like I need like an extra 2 or 3. I don't know why. I like spoiling her, and I just feel like, apart from a couple of like things that are big, the rest are already like cheapy, tacky things. I don't know. So I might pop into Asda and just have a look at the toy section and see if there's anything that catches my eye there. If not, then I'll just leave it as it is. So that's my plan. Obviously I will be doing some more reading, but it'll probably be more once I've finished doing things I need to do. I do need to wrap Alice's presents, which I will do between today and tomorrow. Well, probably better to do it today actually, because tomorrow I should be home. But yeah, that's the plan. But I definitely will be finishing this, and then the next book I will be reading is Defiant, which this and the second book I genuinely think I'm going to breeze through like nobody's business. So yeah, that's that. I will catch up with you probably when I finish this book and just give you my last overall thoughts. I have a reading update. Finished 5 minds. As said to you, I think I had 30 pages left. I actually had 15 pages left. I had very little left, but I literally read the last 15 pages and then we got to home. But talk about plot twist. So you know what I said that Sierra was the one behind it all? It was Alex. So basically there was a part that happened a year ago which was based in Montreal, and long story cut short, so Sierra, the order for these 5 minds is Sierra, then Alex, then Kate, then Mike, then Ben. So Sierra's always like late at night sort of thing, because she is a night owl. She wants to do clubbing, stuff like that. So one of their rules for being a commune is that when it's time for them to go to sleep and the next mind starts their 4 hours, they have to be put somewhere where they are safe and they've got like food and drink around them. So basically put them in a hotel or something like that. But Sierra never does it. She never does it for Alex. He's been found in prisons. He's been found on aeroplanes. He's been found like, you know, in the middle of a park, in a river. And it really peeves him off. Anyway, long story cut short to that, Sierra got extremely drunk, met a captain of a ship. She went there and just he wanted to show her around the ship, but she was so plastered by booze, she ended up collapsing and passing out. And no one realised, because like he thought she was leaving. She must have passed out as she was leaving, and then Alex woke up. And by the time Alice woke up, they were heading to Montreal, and the ship couldn't get turned back, so they had to have a couple of weeks on the ship to go to Montreal, and then it was then get to Montreal and find somewhere another ship to bring them back. As they got there, it turned out that there were no ships actually doing it for a month, and even the ones that were probably maybe do it for a month were a bit because they didn't like they weren't overly keen on communes. Well, schizo, I don't, yeah, they don't like communes, so a lot of the ships refused. So they were all peeved off that they were in Montreal, but they ended up taking it as like a little holiday because they've never done it before and all that. And it ended up working that everyone had fun apart from Sierra, and Sierra was the one who got them in this thing. But as they were in Montreal, they ended up having to stay there for 2 months, and Alex met a girl called Emily who was a worker, and basically he fell in love with her. And basically Sierra, so he asked Sierra if he could have her time, because she really was hating Montreal and all that. So she said yes, but she never actually gave him his time. So where Alex thought he got the time he didn't, she got his time. So, and so where he thought he had her time, it wasn't, it was her normal time. And she went and slept with Emily, and Emily obviously thought it was Alex, and then realised it wasn't. She broke up with Alex, saying this is near enough rape because it's not you, I thought this was you and all that. And he was just like, well, you must have known the difference, you know, all that, blah blah blah. And anyway, I love these. Shouldn't have probably done this while I put them in my memo. So he was furious. They all headed back because they found a ship that would take him. They all decided that Sierra had to be put in like a rehab thing for 3 months, so she wasn't allowed to go out and do things. She was stuck in like a mine thing. But from then on, Alex hated Sierra and wanted to get some payback, and he also was in love with Kate. So basically, this past year, he's plotted all of this stuff. He's put it so Sierra's the one who would be the scapegoat, everyone blames her, blah blah blah. And it ended so it would be him and Kate were the only ones alive, so he could have a relationship with Kate. But Kate doesn't like him, she can't stand him, to be honest. Like, she pities him, but that's about it, because he's a really fat, overweight. He's a bit paedophile sort of thing, not in the way of liking children, but more, he's not appropriate. So yeah, he killed everyone. The only person who he didn't kill, Sierra. Kate did that, because the last part of this book, basically, Sierra supposedly put them in one final simulation game, and the winner got to go out free, blah blah blah. The loser would then have to be taken to this doctor who's using for scientific purposes. The doctor's actually like a psychopath, and it would be more torture and slow death rather than anything. So Sierra lost, and so she was like, shit, this is not how it's supposed to be. And Kate was like, no, regardless, because Kate assumed it was Sierra at first. She was like, regardless of what she's done, she doesn't deserve this kind of death. So she ended up killing Sierra by stabbing her up in the heart. And anyway, it turned out that actually it was all planned by Alex. So it was a massive plot twist. I didn't see that coming. So with that, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars, because I love this. It was just a really fun, interesting read, and the writing is just brilliant. But me personally, I don't see it as a crime thriller. I feel like it's more of like a speculative dystopian with like a, like, you know, with like, it wasn't my typical crime thriller. Like, yes, I could see it, it wasn't a lot of it. It's very safe, and like, you know, it's not nasty. So like, if people were getting into crime thrillers, and there's probably be one for them, because it's not overly hard, it's not gory and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's going to give this 4.5 stars. I really did enjoy it, and you know, for a debut, it's fantastic. So yeah, if you want to do anything, I definitely think you should all pick this up, because it is like a mindfuck, but it's done so well. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. So yeah, I'm now going to, I haven't actually got it because it's downstairs, start this series. So I'm going to be starting Defiant first, which is book 1. This is book 2, but I'm going to start that. I might start reading it now. I don't know. I know we need to start wrapping up as birthday presents, but I don't know whether we're doing that in the evening. But yeah, I'm going to start book 1 and then probably get to book 2. I don't think it's going to take me long, because it's a romance. It's a werewolf romance as well, and I'm a sucker for them. I love them. So that's my next book. But 1 down, quite a few to go, but I'm having a good time. Also, these I haven't had any to read, so I'm going to nom them. I've managed to buy last minute bits for Alice for her birthday, which was cool. I got to see my grandparents, which was extra cool, because I haven't seen them for a while. So yeah, quite a good day today. But now I'm going to continue on reading, and I'll catch up with you with a little bit of a book update when I'm there. Yeah. Book 2 is done and dusted. I devoured this book. I don't know how I feel about it though. I'm giving it a 4 stars, because overall I did enjoy it, because I couldn't put it down. So this is a dark romance, and dark romances are very hit and miss with me. I've read some where they have been way too dark, and it's borderline rape, assault, like, you know, abuse, things like that, and some of it's a bit too close to home, so I hate it. And I've read some dark romances where it's like very BDSM, it's quite like, you know, enemies to lovers, a bit possessive, but like, it's not overly bad, like, I can deal with it. Now this is sort of a bit of both for me. So it's not in the sense where it's dark to the point where you've got assault, rape, abuse, like mental, emotional abuse or anything like that. It hasn't got that, but what it has got is, like, you know, the main male character, Black, decides to lock Elena up in like a, well, not a dungeon, but it's like an underground like sort of thing, and like he ties her up and all that until he realizes who she is, and then he doesn't, but he sort of has claimed us. He's like, you're mine, no one else is, and all that, and like he sort of, he's very possessive, and he just thinks all he cares about is sex at the minute, and like it's not at all rape what happened. Like to be fair, she didn't say yes and she didn't say no, but she didn't fight him off or anything like that. Like at first she was just like, what are you doing? Or don't, you know, no. And then she sort of just gives in to the need and lets it happen, and she doesn't like regret it or anything like that. So in that sense, but it's just right, pretext of this book. So we follow Elena, who has spent 2 years trying to shift her wolf. She apparently when you're 19 your wolf shows and hers didn't show. Her mum, who was an alpha wolf, says that, you know, it took her 8 months for her wolf to actually show. She says the most powerful alphas sometimes take longer to shift just because it's how powerful they are. So she was just like sort of said when 2 years was happening, she was like, you must be extremely powerful if you haven't shifted yet. So it gave Elena hope, but then she started thinking, would she be a glimmer, which is people who think, you know, they've either been brought up by wolves and that they know about wolves but they aren't going to be one, but they sort of know the wolf world. And so she was like really like, I don't want to be that, I don't want to be that. Anyway, she's at school with her best friend Jonah, who's also like a friends with benefits sort of thing. He's a beta wolf, and so she's learned some of like the wolf stuff from him in ways he can tell her, because when you're in packs you're sworn secrecy of what you can say. But anyway, she's at school, she's talking to him, and then she actually gets a glimpse of her wolf, and that's it. She knows finally her wolf's appeared. She runs out of school, runs into the forest, and she shifts. So she finally, after 2 years, she finally shifts into a wolf form, and she's so excited. But she goes into a forest, doesn't really know which territory this forest is. She like spends quite a while, you know, just enjoying her wolf form, and then her wolf then goes back and she's back into human. She's exhausted. She realizes she's in a forest and she doesn't know which kind of forest it is. She's then starting to worry, like, is she in like her pack's forest or is it a different pack's forest? Which means if she is, it's called a disputed territory. It means that she will be killed in the spot, sort of thing. She starts panicking. She's naked. She can't remember where she's left her clothes, and she's obviously exhausted because she's done her first ever shift, and it knackers you out. And then she sees a white wolf, a very massive white wolf, and she starts panicking. She runs away. And the thing with wolves is they love the chase. They're like, you know, possessive motherfuckers. They like the chase, and so the wolf chases her, grabs her down, and he then shifts to talk to her, and she realizes the wolf that it is actually Black, who is her pack's alpha. He doesn't believe that she is who she says she is, so he takes her back to his pack's home, and he shoves her in the one of the like basements. She's all bounded up and all that, and he decides to see whether what she said is true or not. Turns out that what she said was true, but it turns out that Elena's actually a very rare wolf. So she is called an Omega, which technically is a very low down in ranking in wolf, which shocked her because obviously her mum's an alpha, so she should be technically an alpha too. But Omegas are rare, but Omegas are quite interesting too. So basically they have this very special scent, and it drives wolves, especially alpha wolves, mad. And Black's obsessed with her, and like his wolf is called, like I said, mate and all that. If you read your wolf books, that, you know, they have the mate, they have the thing of biting them and all that. They have the thing of like marrying them. They constantly want sex, constantly make babies and stuff like that. So if I was like, my problem is not Elena, but it's Black. He's so possessive. He takes what he wants. Like, he had sex with her, not asking whether it was okay. Like, admittedly, she let him, she enjoyed it, she didn't have any regrets. But it just irks me because I hate that. And I think it's because of past experiences, past relationships, and I haven't been in some nice ones. It just makes me scream that, you know, she didn't speak up, so she didn't, like, you know, do something about it. And that's where I struggle with dark romance sometimes, because sometimes I'm thinking, you can speak up, you can fight back, why aren't you? Like, it's different when it's like abuse, especially if they've like been through it, and you know if you say anything, you could actually die rather than just getting like a few really awful beat ups and that. And like obviously rape's a different matter as well, especially when it's forceful and all that. But this was none of that. This was just possession and controlling and just thinking he deserves what he wants, sort of thing. And I just struggled with that. But at the same time, Anne Denton writes him in a way that you want to know whether there's a soft side to him. You want to know whether this is just like alpha, oh, I want to claim her before anyone else can, because then that makes me more special than anyone and it makes me look good and I get more respect as an alpha in my pack and stuff like that. Or whether like he actually sees her and instantly falls in love with her, his wolf falls in love with her and stuff like that. Because in books I've read, when it's to do with supernatural wolves, that is how their like mating thing is. But it's just, he annoys me. And then I'm a bit annoyed with Elena because it's like, she's very sassy, she's very stubborn, she gives as good as she gets with Black. And then there's moments where she doesn't, and I'm like, where's that sass gone and all that? But I did enjoy it. Like I said, I flew through this. I read it in one sitting. Like, you know, I did not want to put it down. And it sort of left it to the point where Elena has escaped with Jonah. And so they've gone off. So I've obviously got book 2, which is Defiled. And in book 2, it's got Elena, Black and Jonah. And it does say that this is an MFM relationship, which means male, female, male. So I'm wondering if we're having a reverse harem, which if so, I do quite like them. I have a soft spot for them. I do want to pick this up because obviously it ends with her escaping, and I've read what this is about, and there are some things that happen that obviously make her escaping a bit harder. But for me, I just know if I can read this dark romance, it might just be a bit too much for me. I think if I have a break, because I don't need to read Defiled until the end of the month per se, so I feel if I give it a break, I can absorb it a bit better. Because I think if I go back to back with it, it might just be a little bit too much for me. And I'm still like, I need to get my thoughts around what I really feel like. I don't hate it, but there are times where I just think, So, technically the book I should read is Wilson and Deed, because I actually have my review date for this on Tuesday, and the book that I want to read is later. But I'm going to start The Woman in the Wood by M.K. Hill, because I've been desperately wanting to read this for so long, and it's chunkier than this one. And I feel like even if I don't read it all, if I give a good chunk of reading of it, I can then focus on Wilson and Deed, read that, and then come back to this. But I love my thrillers at the minute. I'm in such a thriller mood. That's like my sort of jam at the minute. That's what I really feel more to read, and I'm so looking forward to October. I don't usually do spooky season, but October's going to be a tough month for me mentally, so I'm going to occupy myself and do things and do lots of readathons and all that. But I'm in such a spooky mood that I am tempted to read some horror, not like full horror, but like ghosty, haunted house sort of horror. I'm definitely want to read some slasher thrillers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just in that spooky mood, and I'm just in such a thriller mood. So we're going to be reading this. Depending how much I love it, I might do it in one sitting, and then we'll go from there with what I have left to read and not. 'Cause obviously I've got all of Sunday to read, but my daughter does come home at between 3 and 4, so once she's home I'll be chilling with her until it's bedtime. But yeah, I'm going to concentrate on this. I was quite tired. I had quite a bit of a headache, but I've taken some tablets and I don't feel so bad now, so I might stay up until I really desperately can't keep my eyes open. So if I can get quite a chunk of this done, then I can read the other chunk in the morning, and I might be able to squeeze in another book, which in that case I might do one last stop, because then it's a romance and I read them in like that. Yeah, I'm gonna read this. I probably will catch up with you tomorrow with whatever thoughts I have of this book. So yeah, that's that. Catch up with you sometime tomorrow. talking today, but I'm currently reading The Woman in the Wood by M.K. Hill. I'm on chapter 36, page 319, and I thought I would pop on and give you like a lowdown of what this is about. So we follow two different characters. We follow Abs, who was a very big TV star. He's a very known, he's a celeb, a big TV star, but something happened 3 years ago, and like his whole career went down the loop and everything. So he's just like a nobody in some sense. And then we follow D.I. Sasha Dawson, who is being called on a case. So a man's body is found at a train station. Yeah, he's pretty much decapitated. He got hit by a train, and what they thought would be something happened, it was a train. Turns out it's actually a homicide, it's a murder. So she's on a case in that, and it turns out that this person who has been murdered is called Dino, who is a associate of Abs. So basically, Abs, Jeremy, Tony and Dino were all suspects at a 19-year-old girl's disappearance 3 years ago. There was no evidence or anything to say it was them, but obviously, being in the papers and everyone sort of like the girl's family were all very much, it was these four blokes who'd done it and all that. But so Dino gets murdered, and then Tony gets blown up, and so we've just got Abs and Jeremy left. So basically it's all tied together. So D.I. Sasha Dawson's trying to like find out the killers and all that, but at the same time we are going back 3 years ago of what happened to this young girl. So it's come at the moment, it's saying that it was Dino who killed her, but he can't remember. He was extremely drunk, and then when he woke up she was dead, but she had like marks to show that she'd been strangled. So yeah, apparently like the others didn't kill her, but Abs was the one to say we need to bury her, and like so no one will find, and there won't be any evidence and stuff like that. So yes, the others didn't kill her, but they've obviously covered a crime, so they're going to be done by that. But obviously things are now coming to play. There's something to do with Jeremy, that maybe he's not behind. He knows something. Like he's the only one who's not really had any threats to him. So I kind of feel like there's something going on with him. It's come clear that Jeremy's got a past, that his mother was jailed for attacking her boyfriend at the time she killed him. So she was sentenced to 15 years, but I think she did more because she did an assault in jail. I don't know whether she killed them or something happened in jail, but she was released 2 years ago. And they found like a partial DNA prints to Jeremy, so it's not his prints, but it's some relation to him. So it wasn't. So if they found the sister of Jeremy, but it turned out it wasn't her. But it's now coming clear that it's the mother. So there's something going on. I'm enjoying it, but it's slow. Like it says The Woman in the Woods, and I think there's been 3 parts where it's mentioned her, which is the 3 years ago timeline. And it's just sort of like, to me, I thought it was going to be finding out the truth about her, and it's not. It's about these 2 murders, and obviously it's all interlinked. Like I've got, how much have I got left? Yeah, I've got that much left to read. So maybe the truth about this girl will come to light on what, I don't know. It's not the best crime thriller I've read. I quite like I like D.I. Sasha Dawson's parts, and I like it's actually quite police procedural, which I do love. But it's just very slow. There just didn't seem to be much going on, and there are just other bits going on that I don't think's necessary. But I've read 318 pages today, so I'm not hating it. I'm enjoying it to the point that I've read quite a lot. But unless the ending gives me a massive big thing, like I kind of feel like this is going to be like a 3.5 stars, which I don't think I've ever given a thriller that low. No, that's a lie. I think I have given 3 stars, but admittedly, if it wasn't Tor, it would have been lower. No, I think I've done one that's 3 stars. Yeah, like unless this ending is a proper big twist and didn't see it going, this is like a good, probably 3.5 stars. It's slow. There isn't overly much going on. As I'm not keen on I like Sasha, but I'm not keen on the rest of the characters so much. And like I said, there's just some bits in this book that's not necessary. Like, I don't need to know this. It's not really, we don't need to know this. Like, why do we need to know this? Like, her boss is currently dating her sister, which is like just weird, and it's like that little bit on there. Sasha's going on like a week, her daughter arranged for her mum and dad to go and have like a little weekend at like an overnight stay at the hotel, just, you know, because they've had a bit of a tough time and all that. And again, I'm like, do we need to know that? I don't really feel like I need to know that. But yeah, I thought I'd let you know. I'm gonna see if I can finish this tonight. If not, I'll read in so much and then probably read the rest in the morning. But I haven't got much left. So, and it's just gone 11:30. So I probably can get like another hour in and probably finish it. We'll see. But I will catch up with you all tomorrow. I've just reached a plot twist. You know, I said I had an inkling something was off with Jeremy. He's got a random girl in a, like, big wooden, like a treehouse sort of thing, but not, you know, the outhouse things, whatever they're called. He's got a, like, youngish girl tied up there. So now I'm thinking he's the one who killed the girl 3 years ago. I've literally just reached, hang on. So I'm 3 years ago. Oh, shit's going down. So my loves, this is the end of this reading vlog, and I'm really impressed with how many books I read. So I read 3, which, to be fair, when I really look at it, that's nothing compared to what I do, but I feel like I read 3 full books that I started from start to finish near enough, and I felt very much in the reading mood. Like, and considering I had other things to do in this vlog as well, I think 3 full big books is brilliant for me. So to go over quickly the books I have read, I read 5 Minds by Guy Morpus, and I've given this 4 stars. I absolutely love the speculative dystopian side of this, but I felt like the crime thriller side was just not as solid as I'm quite used to in crime thrillers. I just felt like there could be a little bit more in regards to the thriller side of things, but for a debut this is fantastic, and I honestly cannot fault Guy's writing and his brain and how he does his books, and I genuinely hope he writes some more that's similar to 5 Minds, because I definitely will be reading more of his work. And then I read Defiant, which is the Fairy Princess book 1 by Anne Denton. I've given this 4 stars as well. I enjoyed it. It's a dark romance. It's not as dark as I am used to, which is good. I just felt, I don't know, I just wasn't overly keen with our main male protagonist, Black. I just felt a bit off with him. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure about him at the moment, and I'm hoping book 2, when I read it a little bit later, you will see a different side of him, because at the moment I just feel like he's a very possessive, controlling wolf, basically, who thinks, you know, Elena's his and that's it, and he's not once actually asked Elena her feelings, how she feels, stuff like that. It's just all about him. He's very selfish, and so like that's just sort of annoys me a bit in this book, which I do feel with a lot of dark romances you do get like that. You have like one character where you just don't overly like, but you're sort of still rooting for, because you're hoping they'll change and be nice and all of that. So I can see that happening with like the second book especially, but just at the moment I'm like, oh, she's driving me mad. And then lastly, I managed to finish The Woman in the Wood by M.K. Hill. So I'm giving this 3.5 stars, which is still a good rating, but it's quite a low rating for me with crime thrillers. So I think I have rated one other crime thriller 3 stars in this year. That was a tall book, and to be fair, if it wasn't a tall book, I would have done lower. Or in all fairness, I probably would have DNF'd it because I just could not stand the characters. But this is like the first like crime thriller I've enjoyed, but it lacked stuff for me. So in sense of characters, I really liked our DI Sasha Dawson. I really liked her character. I really liked the police procedural part. That was really good and everything. I just wasn't overly fond with the other character, which was Abs. I just felt I just don't like him. He's a very, you know, thinks the world revolves around him, and yeah, I just couldn't stand him and all that. I just felt with this, like the title says The Woman in the Wood, and there's not much gone on about that. Like, you have 3 years ago where Abs, Jeremy, Dino and Tony obviously met this girl who went missing, and it's clear that something did happen, and as I go into the book it was supposedly Dino, but it turns out that actually no, it was someone else. For me, there was just bits that didn't need to be in. There was bits about Sasha. She her daughter did a weekend away for her parents to go to a nice hotel and just, you know, just have their own time together and just, you know, rekindle their romance, their marriage and stuff like that. I don't understand why that needed to be in there. Like, it was nothing to do with the book. Also, there was bits about Abs and him trying to get to try and go back into the TV stuff and being a celeb again and all that. Again, I just felt I don't really need to know that. There was just certain bits in this book I thought, do I need to know that? The same as with Sasha, her sister's now dating Sasha's boss. Again, I don't know why this needed to be in this book. Like, it wasn't necessary. It was like, you know, a couple of pages of, I don't care for this. This has nothing to do with the plot. And so that's why it's 3.5 stars. Like, the ending, you know, as you saw from my clip, like, there was like a complete plot twist which I didn't see completely coming, but I did start suspecting. And obviously, as things revealed, it was all right. But again, like, I sort of could see it coming anyway. It wasn't a surprise. So with that, it has to be a 3.5 stars. There was just some things that I felt unnecessary, and I felt other things could have played out a bit better. But it was still a really good read. The fact that I read this in a whole day, and it's what, 300 and... well, the actual story itself, it was 421 pages, or 444 if you add the acknowledgements. So I read all of that pages in one day, which it shows that I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't want to not read it. It was just, it didn't have the full element of crime thrillers that I love personally. So I read these 3, and that means 3 of my tour books out the way, so I can now concentrate on my Bookoplathon books. So yeah, I'm in a really big reading mood. Like, I am really in a, like, I want to read. So hopefully that will stay, because I've still got a lot of books to read. But yeah, thank you for watching this vlog, and look out for another one, because I'm going to be doing one straight after this anyway. Take care. Bye.